It's amazing to me how quickly Republicans forget that 51% of humans don't have dicks. They did a commendable job through the midterms of more or less not endorsing rape. They managed not to publicly slut-shame women on birth control, and they did their level best to refrain from yelling "succubus" every time they saw a woman wearing pants. But apparently the misogyny was steadily boiling deep within, and it sure hasn't taken them long to bubble over. Case in point, a sweeping anti-abortion bill that leads off their legislative agenda. This 20-week abortion ban has been criticized by a lot of people for a lot of reasons, most notably for its very restrictive rape exceptions. Recently lending their voices to the critiques were Representatives Renee Elmers and Jackie Walorski, who until Tuesday were co-sponsors of the bill. That's right, even the women in the GOP are coming out against the GOP on this one, after a frustrated and futile attempt to remind their male colleagues that in another couple of years women get to vote again. And if your day one legislative agenda includes a "do you have the rapist's permission" abortion ban, odds are they'll be voting for those other guys. But of course, not all Christian men are quite so dismissive when it comes to reproductive rights. In fact, California pastor Shane Idleman has a new video where he apologizes for the draconian abortion policies to God, for them not being draconian enough. The video, titled "The Apology," is part of a wider anti-abortion push and features 3 men apologizing to either God or the souls of their murdered pre-children. It's not exactly clear which. And is apparently intended to guilt Christian men into giving women less physical autonomy. And if you need evidence that these guys have their heads up their asses when it comes to this subject, I'll just point out that all 3 of the guys in the video claim at the beginning that they've had at least one abortion. Yes, 3 men claiming they've had abortions. I swear I was waiting for one of them to complain about his yeast infection, the little cunts. But it seems that the real problem when it comes to preborn baby murder isn't the vile women who would have the abortion. It's the indiscriminate men who would fuck them. So New York pastor Stephen Kim has elected to tackle the problem from the supply side with a handy list of women that good Christian men should just keep their penises out of altogether. Included in his list are divorcees, women with careers, feminists, immodest dressers, atheists, and of course, and these are his words, childbirth avoiders. Sprinkled through the article are lovely little pieces of imperial dick worship like, quote, "Your wife is to be your helper, not your leader, and certainly not your equal in terms of authority," end quote. Now, as bad as all this sounds, it actually works out well. If you strictly followed Pastor Kim's advice, the only acceptable women would be comatose or brain dead, which are also the only women that would want to fuck you. Well, there's plenty more we could talk about, but I've got some very important corrupting of my husband's soul and God-sanctioned dominion to get to. So until next time, I'll hand it back over to Noah and he.